So if you guys are in the front, you will see that they have a lot of awesome potted plants. Do I know the prices? No. But they also sell the pots individually, which is really cool. So Monday was officially the first day of fall, so their fall stuff is out. However, orchids are still a huge item. So they have those for sale. They have some prices out. And so they have succulents out pretty often too, because succulents last for a long time. But what's really cool is their walk-in cooler. And so they have front doors, but they also have an entrance and an exit. So let's go in the entrance. Woo! It's pretty chilly in here. Okay, so this is their walk-in cooler, which is pretty awesome, literally cool. I would say it's about 60 degrees in here, 55, 50 to 60s. And also these fans keep it humid, and there's a system that is like a watering system, so it actually adds water to the fans, so that way it keeps it in a humid temperature. Humid is when there's moisture in the air, so it's not just cool in here, but it's moist. So it's going to make sure that these flowers stay fresh and alive for a long time. The water for all the buckets, so most of these flowers are recut once they get here. They're still technically in their bunches, and depending on the flower is ultimately their bunch amount, like how many stems are in each bunch. So for instance, these are protea. Look how cool these are. I love these flowers. They're like my favorite flower, but they sell these by the stem. So just because they're kind of a more tropical flower and more expensive, they sell them by the stem. However, these are called billy balls. These come in about a pack of 10, like a typical bunch would be in. Okay, but notice that there's no plastic around them because they're pretty hardy, and so it's just something that they don't do is wrap them in plastic. These beautiful flowers are dahlia, and they're in season, but they're kind of on their way out. But they're a very fragile flower, but you can get them in almost any color, and so they're so beautiful. I could go forever on all the different varieties in here. What's cool about this is like they do have all the items and basically the main flowers that they sell up here all the time. They do have to change the prices often. So what they do is that this is chalk, like marker, chalk paint. And so it's easily washable, and then they just update it with the new price next to it. So what's cool is like Alstroemeria, for instance. This is typically retail price. So me as a, like my prices are different as like a florist if I have my wholesale license. So I'll talk about that in class. But this is like retail prices. So the average person that's walking in here who's not a florist and just wants flowers, for 10 stems in Alstroemeria, like in one bunch is 10 stems, is $7.95. And then you still have to pay taxes on that. So in Alstroemeria is just one variety of flowers. If you want to make a bouquet that has a whole bunch of varieties, you're probably going to get like 3 other bunches of something and greenery. So it's going to add up to at least like $40, and that's if you get kind of the cheap stuff. So to make one large arrangement for somebody could be kind of expensive. Sorry. Hi, how are you? Good, how are you? Good, making a vlog for my kids. I'm glad you were here. Oh, thanks. Okay, so this is really cool. This comes in 2 main colors. It's called Hanging Amaranthus. Okay, Hanging Amaranthus. This is awesome because it adds like depth to an arrangement, and it adds like elongation. This is Solidago. It's a type of filler. They usually keeps all their fillers pretty close together. So this is Misty. It comes in purple, It also comes in white, but I don't know if they have white in here. We have some status variety in pink and yellow. We also have baby's breath, which is also known as gypsum. We have Monte Cassino, which is a filler, and now we're getting over into our line flowers. We have more line flowers over there, but our line flowers today are going to be larkspur, which comes in pink as well as purple and white too, I believe. We also have delphinium. Delphinium comes in dark blue, like navy blue, or in this light blue. These are really cool. These are called button mums. They're the size of a button and they're cushioned like a mum. This is another line flower. It's called snapdragons, which is pretty popular. These come in almost every color. So these are cremones. They're of the mum family too. Notice that they have nets on them, which I've talked about these guys in the past for that wedding. Now, I want to show you some other types of mums that are just like cheaper flowers. Mums are usually cheaper, and so people buy a lot of them. And so, and they also come in almost every color, and they last for a long time. So Floral 2 kids, you guys have seen mums, whether that's pom-poms, button mums, cremones, like those are all different, like standard like names that I would just say, but they're of the chrysanthemum family. So when I call them mums, they're all of the same family, but they look just like different varieties. Okay, the common name, that's what I was going to say, common name. So this is a pom-pom because it has a button. I don't know if you guys can even see. There you go. This is like a pom-pom because of the button, but I know it's a mum because of the way the petal is shaped, and it's almost cushiony. These are the Alstroemeria, which is what I was talking about off of the board. They come in almost every color too. And what's cool about these guys is that you can see that some of the petals are still closed, but don't keep that from you purchasing them because they're only going to open up as they get warmer and age. And so I would actually pick the ones that are closed versus the ones that are more open, which that's just something with experience that you guys will learn. Here's carnations, which you guys have probably totally seen before. They come in almost every color as well. These are like hot pink. These are cool because they're like two-tone. Pretty awesome. And these are mini carnations, which are pretty freaking fun because you can make almost anything with them, and they're cheaper than like spray roses or other small flowers. Next we have our lilies. Lilies are pretty much closed for the most part until you put them in a bucket and put them in room temperature water in a room temperature environment, and sometimes even in the sun. So I don't usually like putting flowers in the sun, but for lilies I do if I need them to open up really fast, and sometimes they take forever to open, and sometimes they won't even open up at all. So I try to always put my lilies in the sun, especially when they look like this. Inside the lily, you guys can actually see the anthers, which we'll talk about plant physiology here in a little bit, but you want to take those out because it's filled with pollen and it'll actually get on you and then stain your clothes, so you don't want that. We got some roses. They don't have a whole lot of roses out right now, but we have spray roses that are really small, and we also have some regular roses that are wrapped pretty tight. Here are some greeneries that they have. Seeded eucalyptus. I know it's seeded because it has seeds on it. And here's some variegated pit, some berries, gunny eucalyptus in different variety. We have Dusty Miller. And what's really cool about Fresh Ideas is that sometimes they even get greenery that is pre-dyed. So it doesn't naturally grow in these colors, but it's pre-dyed because sometimes you just want a splash of that fun color in your arrangement, especially with these fall colors, or see how it's getting close to Halloween. We want that maybe darker purple color in there just to make it kind of cool. In the middle at Fresh Ideas, you'll always see that they have pre-made arrangements. And that's kind of fun for me as an ag teacher because I just want to see what they're up to. So like this one I think is really pretty because I like the textures as well as the different colors. This one's just pretty simple. It's kind of like, oh, my husband wants to give me a nice bouquet, whatever. But can you all see that price up there? That is retail price, okay? So they have to consider not only the price of the flowers, but the labor that it took to make the flowers, the vase, all that, but also the rent for this place. They have to consider electricity and payment of their employees. So for that one arrangement that has 12 roses in it, that I know the actual price for flowers, I would be like, what? That's so expensive. But it's retail price, so it's at a higher level. But what's wild, they don't actually know if they're going to sell it. Like, they don't know if they're going to be able to sell any of these arrangements, but they pre-make them just in case somebody walks in and is like, I need an arrangement, which is pretty crazy. But it's a good investment. It really is, because what if someone walks in and is like, I need an arrangement, I need it right now. Like, you want something to give them. This is stock. Stock comes in a whole bunch of different varieties. This is iris, very beautiful. It comes closed like this, but then opens up to a three-way part like this one. It's almost a part of the orchid family. It's very beautiful. These are Greenery daisies, which is pretty beautiful. They don't have any leaves on them at all. And I actually think I'm going to buy a bunch of these so that way you guys can learn more about how to use them in the future. These are other lilies, calla lilies. They're actually a variety of the Captain Ventra, which is pretty cool. That's just a variety. And then I also have tulips out here. I mean, I don't. Fresh Ideas does. And then Fresh Ideas is pretty cool because they have all these pre-made bouquets out for everyone to purchase. Okay. So what's also cool is one of the last things I'll show you is these sunflowers. Look how cool they are. So these sunflowers, I'll grab a bunch for you. They will all look like this yellow one. Naturally, like genetically, they're meant to be yellow, but you can see that the bottom is stained red because of the dye that they actually put in the water. So through the xylem and phloem of the stem, which is like the little tubes inside of the stem, it sucks up the water, right? Well, if the water is a different color, it's actually going to affect the petals too, which is pretty cool. But this is perfect for like a fall arrangement. It's really fun. Now my last thing I'll show you guys is this. Pampas grass. Pampas grass. Super fun. Super cool. Very in right now. Everybody loves pampas grass. At least in all the things I follow on the internet. Everybody's posting them right now. So I think I'm going to buy a bunch of that too, just to show you guys how to do stuff with it. Pretty fun. So that's it about the cooler. This is the exit. Here we go. Notice over by the register, they also have their orchids. They're out, not in the cooler. I wonder why. Someone tell me in the chat if they think they know why these orchids are not in the cooler. Awesome. And if you want some succulents, they're selling them here too. Pretty, pretty. what's really great about Fresh Ideas too is that there's been times where I've had like a funeral or something and someone's asked, hey man, I need to like get this stuff like pronto, because it was like last minute. Obviously they weren't like expecting like the funeral and stuff, and so what's great is that they have a lot of hard goods that are on hand. So we've talked a lot about these tools already, but they have Morning Glory, Floral Life, collapsible bracelet vases. They have foams, which I'll do another demo on how to make those, in crosses, different shapes, different sizes, different containers, and also a casket saddle. Okay, and they also have floral foam, anything else you would need. Let's just say that they don't have the flowers or the materials that you need. They don't necessarily sell like a lot of hard goods, however, and you can like go somewhere else for that. However, you can always pre-order your flowers, and they suggest at least 2 weeks for that. So say like your cousin is getting married, you want to go to Fresh Ideas, and you can call them and just make an order. Okay, but I'm happy to help you come up with like your recipes and stuff like that. Anyway, thank you for watching. Bye.